Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. I am so excited because I have a very special guest with us today. When I was thinking about talking to you about LinkedIn, there is only one person that I would contact, and that is Edward Zia. Welcome, Ed. It's so great to see you.
Oh my God, Michelle, I'm so honoured to be here. And in light of this occasion, I went to a top location, Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Opera House. Least I could do for you beautiful people around the world.
Look at you. I knew that you would be in the exact perfect location when I asked you to do this Zoom with me. Like, you are amazing.
And just for those scared of heights, I'm standing on the edge of a building. So there you go. See?
Step back, step away from the edge. It's not that bad. It's okay. We are here with you. Hey, listen, I know all about you because we are both Aussies, but we actually met in New York, didn't we?
We did. And to this day, and I haven't actually said this to you, but I thought now's the time. I don't think you realize this. You had such a big impact on my life. You were so nice to me. I was actually going through a bit of a rough patch in my life then, and your kindness and love is what I needed. You were so nice to me. So I just want to say big thank you and appreciate it. I never told you that, but now's the time for me to say it.
And remember on the plane in the way home, you had all the blankets all draped all over you so you could get some sleep on the way home, and there was a spare seat in the middle, and you let me put my legs up on the seat, so I was very grateful. Thank you.
I suppose for the camera, I'm almost 6 feet tall, and you're a little bit shorter than me, aren't you? Just a little bit.
It's because I'm part fairy.
Oh, there you go, part fairy. There you go. I'm all troll, so there you go.
You are not. You are my go-to person for LinkedIn. Now, tell me a little bit about yourself so that the people who are watching get to know why LinkedIn. Why was that kind of your go-to, and how did you get involved in being this LinkedIn superstar?
Oh, great question, and big thanks to all our fans around the world. So in short, I've been friends of Microsoft for many years. So I've been a Microsoft ambassador. I've always been lucky to get trained by Microsoft, and I go back years with Microsoft. And what happened was when Microsoft bought LinkedIn, I think about 3 or 4 years ago, when they bought LinkedIn, they started really changing LinkedIn and making it a good platform. Now, one of my friends, Rana Kodari, big shout to Rana, I was busy marketing on Facebook and things weren't working out for me. I was doing quite a bit of Facebook marketing. At some points, I was spending up to $100 a day on Facebook. It just wasn't working out. One of my friends, Rana, big shout to Rana Kodari, if she hears this, amazing lady, great, good friend. She goes, Ed, you got to get off LinkedIn. You got to get off Facebook, my friend. You're climbing the right ladder against the wrong wall. And she goes, look at it, why don't you try LinkedIn? What was interesting, I used to be more of a business coach and marketing consultant. And I originally just jumped on LinkedIn, started doing a few videos. My goal was just to get a few more customers. And within 3 months, and I'm not kidding, I achieved more on LinkedIn than I did in 8-10 years on Facebook, just in terms of follower growth and money. Anyway, so what happened was, then what was funny, everyone started coming up to me saying, no one cared about my marketing ability. Everyone just said, hey, Ed, can you teach me how to become a LinkedIn influencer? And my business just, in the space of 3-6 months, my whole business changed based on that success. And I just fell in love with it. So I actually pretty much I used to be more of a business coach. I don't really do that anymore. I'm now full on with my wonderful wife, Lassie, big shout out to Lassie too. So I help run a global LinkedIn influencer network, helping people become famous via LinkedIn. It's great.
It's amazing. And I love seeing what you're doing, not only here in Australia, but internationally as well. So for the people who are kind of still not sold on using LinkedIn as a really great platform to connect with professionals, what is it about LinkedIn that gets you so excited?
Well, firstly, it's owned by Microsoft. And whilst that probably doesn't excite anyone other than Edward Zia, it's owned by Microsoft has a great track record of doing great businesses. So it's owned by the right people. It's owned by people that I trust, right? So firstly, that gets me excited. And the second thing is that, and I'm going to have a shot at Facebook here. A lot of people, as you know, I don't like Facebook that much. All the good people that were on Facebook are spending more and more time on LinkedIn. So a lot of people say to me, Ed, what's the difference between Facebook and LinkedIn? And I use this analogy, right? Imagine you got a little country town and you have a really crappy bar that everyone goes to. There's only one bar in town, so everyone goes to that bar. Then all of a sudden, next door to that bar, a beautiful new trendy bar's open, right? All the good people from the old crappy bar will go to the new bar. So basically the new bar will be full of cool people and the old bar will be full of the not so cool people. And that's basically how we see LinkedIn and Facebook. LinkedIn's like the brand new bar where normal people go, and the rough part of the town where you'll get beaten up is Facebook. That's basically the way we all see it.
Or the people who just don't like change. So they will keep going somewhere even though they're not getting anything out of it.
Yep. So while we're all hanging out in the beautiful new trendy bar overlooking the beautiful river, in your case, you're in Brisbane, aren't you? So you have the Brisbane River.
Yes,
I've got
Brown River. Yes.
I've got the harbour. You've got beautiful Brisbane River. Basically, it's pretty much that. LinkedIn has become it's not just LinkedIn, which is good. The people on LinkedIn are, out of all the social media platforms, and no one will disagree with this, the people on LinkedIn are the most exceptional people you'll meet. You'll never get the quality. I'll give you an example. If you said to me, I get asked this question like, Ed, how many, it's like an exchange rate question, how many, for 10,000, if you could give 10,000 Facebook followers, how many LinkedIn followers you would buy? I have no problem. If you said, Ed, I'll take your 10,000 Facebook followers and give you 100 LinkedIn followers, I'll take the 100 LinkedIn followers over 10,000 Facebook followers any day.
That's one of the things I love about LinkedIn. It's not a popularity contest, is it? It's all about quality connections. So what would be your top tips and tricks for people who maybe have a LinkedIn profile that they set up donkeys years ago and want to kind of revamp it and get the most out of LinkedIn? What would your tips and tricks be for them?
Oh, thank you, Michelle. Tip number one is spend a bit of time. You might even spend a day on it. Spend a lot of time on your profile getting it beautiful. Like one of the biggest problems of LinkedIn, and Microsoft will tell you the same thing, it's not just Ed's opinion, is people just don't update their profiles. They don't have up-to-date email addresses. They don't have phone numbers. I know this sounds so simple, but most people, it's like they don't even have their work history. So what I encourage you is spend a lot of time on your LinkedIn and update everything. Update your bio, get a really nice photo, doesn't have to be professional, and update your whole history, right? So really spend a lot of time on your LinkedIn profile. That's point one. Point two is start sharing content every day. Now, the question to ask is what sort of content, Ed? Say something positive, share information, share value. And one of the reasons why I like your content, Michelle, is you share a lot of inspirational stuff. So I would call you you're not a technical influencer, I would call you an inspirational influencer in terms of the stuff you...
an influencer before, oh my goodness.
Well, you were an influencer before I was, right? Which is interesting. But for example, if I look at your content, Michelle, you don't actually share solutions to my life's problems, but what you share is you share positivity, you share stuff that makes me feel good. So I love your posts because when I see your posts, be it on LinkedIn or Facebook, they make me feel good. So it's inspirational. So be inspiring, be positive. And if you are more technically minded, let's say, you're an accountant, share tax tips, share inspiration, share value, because that's what gets people like you and that's what builds your follower base.
Absolutely. And we've been talking a lot about social media essentially being a social platform. With LinkedIn, do you find it's more professional as opposed to social, or what's been your experience with that?
It has changed a lot, because originally LinkedIn used to be very much the old white guys in suits, right? How dare you be female, and how dare you not wear a business suit on LinkedIn? And I'm not, what's funny is I'm not kidding. Sexism was a problem on LinkedIn. A lot of the old sexist white guys sort of, telling everyone how the platform works. And thank God Microsoft didn't like that, right? Microsoft made it a more inclusive place. So what's happened is, in a way, and I don't want to compare LinkedIn to Facebook, because that's not very nice to LinkedIn, and I love LinkedIn. But in a way, I see not just me, but I see LinkedIn as, I just got to hold on to my hat. The wind's picked up or I'll lose my hat. I see LinkedIn as basically Facebook, like the business platform of Facebook, because all the people of substance on Facebook left for LinkedIn. So at the end of the day, they're still doing social stuff on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn has become, in a way, social media for business people and professionals. So again, if you're a person of substance and you want to help people, LinkedIn's a place for you. If you just want to look good and collect likes, maybe Instagram or Facebook's better for you. But if you are of substance, you want to help people, LinkedIn is your home, and I can certainly consider that in my case.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things that I love about what you're doing on LinkedIn is it's all about empowering people to find their why, and then they can go and articulate that on LinkedIn in a way that builds a really great community. And one of the other things we've been talking about is using social media as a place to be found, as opposed to like going and constantly selling, but just kind of putting yourself out there and then having people connect you. What's the best connection that you've ever made on LinkedIn?
Well, the answer is I make great connections every day on LinkedIn, and I couldn't agree with you more. I see LinkedIn. One of the reasons why I make LinkedIn is that it's about attracting the right people to you. So I'm not about chasing people for business. I'm about putting myself out there, and the right people will find me. And I make great connections all the time. A good example would actually be a man we both know. Well, actually, you don't know him. Remember how you and I met in New York for the meetup conference, right?
Yeah.
And great. I loved your speaking slot, by the way. That was awesome, Michelle, when you spoke in New York, right? Obviously pre-virus. This is obviously pre-virus, right? But I had all these meetup connections, but after we left, a new manager started by the name of David Siegel. I'm connected to David Siegel on LinkedIn, and he's the CEO of Meetup today, and he's helped me out so much. So I've got so many great connections. And the beauty of LinkedIn is that LinkedIn is very personal, because once you connect to someone, in a way, you can see all their details, you can message each other. It's so much more richer and effective than, Instagram or Facebook. LinkedIn just does such a better job of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what would you say for creative businesses? Because I know you help people all different walks of life from every corner of the world. So people like my tribe who are a creative business, what would be your best tip and trick for the best way to use LinkedIn?
Well, creative businesses do well on LinkedIn because, like, for example, and I know this topic very well, when you post with more color, you're going to get more views. So, for example, if I look at your background, I can tell you've spent a lot of time getting that background perfect, because it is. And basically what it allows, and this is what I really like, check out the view, huh? What I really like is that creative businesses do well because you've got a lot of color, you've got interesting things to talk about, and that helps you get a lot of views. So as a creative business, and the other thing is as well, there aren't that many creative businesses on LinkedIn, so it gives you the opportunity, because it's a bit like on Instagram. If you're in fitness, it's very hard to take off on Instagram because everyone there's on fitness. If you're in fitness on LinkedIn, it's very easy to take off because no one in fitness is on LinkedIn. So it's a whole when the market zigs, you zag sort of argument, so yeah.
Excellent. Now, if people want to get in contact with you because they want help really kind of, deep diving down into what LinkedIn can do for you, what's the best way that people watching can contact you?
Our best thing to do is add me on LinkedIn and say, I heard you speak to Michelle Worthington. And I just got to remember this for a bit of fun as well. Michelle Worthington's amazing, everyone. For my fans watching, please get Michelle Worthington. Remember when I first met you, I've got a bit of a man crush on Sam Worthington. I asked if you were related. And are you related to the legendary Sam Worthington?
Yes, he's my ex-husband.
Oh, jealous. I want to sleep with him too. Just kidding. So there you go. Anyway, but seriously, add me on LinkedIn. And also too, please as well, if you're watching this, please follow. I've known Michelle Worthington for years. Michelle Worthington, a woman of integrity. You want to follow her, right? And remember, you were an influencer before I was. So something to remember, Michelle.
I am just so grateful that the universe brought us together. And honestly, if anyone watching wants to find out a bit more how to use LinkedIn effectively, this is the guy that you need to contact. Absolutely. I can't thank you enough, the beautiful Ed, for taking the time from the gorgeous Sydney to give your little expertise and your tips and tricks. And I really encourage anybody who wants to find out more about LinkedIn to definitely contact you. So thank you again.
Pleasure. I'd just like to give some final views. Of course, Harbour Bridge and of course, Opera House right there. So at least I can do.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.